Hey, I'm Kev Kier, Mr. Curl Motors, and more coverage from Season 4 of Formula Xbox. And here one visit the legendary Spa-Francorchamps circuit for unlucky round 13 of the season. And look at that battle for pole between RS2M and Mr. Jokers, with the Red Bull driver just ahead of the McLaren, and my teammate a brilliant qualifying in third. Unfortunately, we're in the other passenger right at the back of the grid as you go old school in the cockpit view, which you used quite a lot in the previous F1 games, but just couldn't quite make it work in F1 2013 because we can't really use those mirrors a lot as we get a squirmy getaway in these wet conditions, intermediate conditions, as we get very cautious into turn 1 where Pro Racing goes round or outside. Unfortunately, it looks like Sam and Casey Legend have been tangled up to the right hand side in their Lotus and Marussia, and it looks like James Lang has got ahead of us in his Williams as we try and get a good run through El Rouge and Radion, get a slingshot down this camera straight, but we had to lift slightly in the middle of that corner so we couldn't get our usual slingshot. Used a bit of curves on the exit, but it looks like he's got us into slipstream range, but can we go into dive down the inside range into their Coombe? It looks like we can't, as the Williams driver is just very confident on the outside there as you go through Normandy. And then it looks like there's another issue for Pro Racing this time. In front of us, the Ferrari going slowly, and the other Ferrari as well of Stopmat, who's actually looks like he's in a Marussia this race. He's normally in a Ferrari, but it looks like he went a bit slow as well through that corner. So we're in 9th spot, and we're trying to make some moves going forward here, trying to get used just to cockpit cam again, as I forgot to change it to offset T cam at the beginning, and I thought I'll try and see how it goes on this first lap. As you can see, it's not going very well as Pro Racing gets a great run through pole and goes round outside into Fangio. As I said, the problem with cockpit cam in F1 2030, I can't really use the mirrors. They're not, you can't see enough of them. I can see all of them in the offset T cam view. I can only see about, what, 3/4 here, half of them in this view, and it's even worse when you get this rain just like this, and I don't have the arrow set, which I normally have now in wet conditions, so I can actually tell where everyone is now relative to me. But on to lap 2 now. We have got Casey Legend behind us, but Pro Racing has slowed down the Kemmel straight. He's having a dreadful start to this race, the Ferrari driver. I don't know what is going on. Maybe he's got connection issues, but he is dropping back, and we're up to 9th spot ahead of him as we go through Stabilo and now through curve Paul Fred, named after the legendary Belgium journalist and racer. As we get back to offset T-Cam view, and there goes Pro Racing. One of the big hitters in the league as retired is Ferrari, and no surprise there after what the heck was going on in these opening couple of laps as you run right through Bonchmont. That's letting Casey Legend on our left hand side here. Now have a look round our outside, a great move from the Lotus driver into the bus stop chicane. That was Raikkonen-esque on us, and getting the drive out the corner as well as Mr. Jokers getting the foot to the floor with the fastest lap at the front of the field. It's gone to lap 3 now, trying to get back past Casey Legend as Pro Racing has left the building. He's probably slammed the door like Stopmat did in the last round as we're getting a good slingshot there. That's what we wanted on the first lap against James. We didn't this time in the middle of the corner, but can we go down the inside this time of the Lotus? No, we can't go down the inside of the driver in there. We have to man up into their Coombe. We have to claim the apex, not let it be taken from us. As we go on to lap 5 now, as a couple of guys appear, such as James in the Williams, as we are struggling hard on these intermediate tyres. The track is drying up slightly, and the tyres are just wearing out very quickly as we went very wide there into Rivage. And now later on the lap, our host has left us. He's been abducted, Arte, unfortunately, and so we did change host, but it didn't really affect the connection, at least for me it seemed, for the rest of this race. But loads of guys are pitting in critical time of the race, such as Drastic Midget, such as my teammate as well, and Psycho as well maybe. So we got a teammate rejoining in front of us though. We can be his rear gunner. He's had a brilliant first stint to back up that qualifying he had. And so later in the lap into Poo on here, as I said, you don't want to hit the curbs here. Well, I haven't said it yet, but now I have. And now James Lang is down our inside. He's got back past us again. Say bye to James. Say bye to the Williams. As you go into the bus stop chicane now, and we want to pit. We've got to take the Maldonado line into the pit lane here. As just a minute goes past us, we managed to sneak in ahead of Stopmat and hopefully not affect anyone's race there. We didn't arrest anyone, fortunately. And unfortunately, no, RS2M has left the building. Oh, the pole sitter is gone. And we got Sam in the Marussia to our right hand side. He's gone wide and put on. You've already seen if you hit the curbs, it's not very nice, especially that outside curve, that big chunky Kit Kat on the outside. I don't know what is with that curve, but it always throws you wide if you get on it. And we're trying to catch Drastic Midget in front of us, but we're locking up our right front into that source, and it looks like Sam's down or inside the Marussia. He's pitted a bit earlier than us. That one advantage of pitting late like we did, which cost us loads of time, was we do have fresher tyres in the end of the race. Sam pitted a bit earlier. He's struggling a bit with his tyres, and so we're trying to get this slingshot through that source, not through that source, El Rouge, from that source to El Rouge to Radion to the Kemmel straight, and look at that slingshot. Can we make it third time lucky now? Down the inside of Sam into their Coon. We will not get our apex taken. We will claim 8th spot now due to our term leaving the building, and we're ahead of Sam, and we're trying to catch up to Drastic Midget in the other Red Bull. He's struggling with, I can't remember what it was. I think it was engine or gearing issues, but he was just slow down the straight. So, you know, down here we can gain a bit on him and maybe make a move on the final lap to get up to 7th spot. We've got two kind of aiding cars here with tyres and with an engine, and we've run wide though. We've understeered out of the bus stop onto the final lap. Looks like Sam is going to get past us in the Marussia. Oh, we're going to have a battle on this final lap as we are going into that source. Oh, we've outbraked ourselves. Come on, jam on the brakes. We've just managed to avoid disaster there. We tapped wheels, but that's more like a homie bump. That, you know, it wasn't a spin, unfortunately, like what Sam had on the first lap. Unfortunately, I was thinking it was a sideboard. Get it to remember correctly, but we're getting our slingshot through El Rouge, through Radion, down the Kemmel straight. Oh, we're going down the outside now. Oh, can we do what Casey Legend and Mr. James Lang has done to us in this race as we go through there? We got it. We've got the apex again, and now we can try and catch Drastic Midget. Do we have enough time though to catch the Red Bull driver with his aiding car? As I said, we're coming up to the bus stop curb. We outbrake ourselves massively, but then he misses up the second part of the bus stop. So if we just hit the bus stop normally, we maybe could have a good run to the line, maybe pit 7th spot, but in the end we needed another lap to get 7th. But we finish in 8th. My teammate getting his inaugural Formula Xbox podium, I believe, in 3rd, so belated well done to him. But a McLaren 1-2, Mr. Joseph Psycho. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. I'll be back with round 14 South watching, and I'll see you next time.